Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final day of the last chance bracket, the Roundtable Qualifiers 2022. We have got a bang-up match coming through for you guys. Enri against xootynator. Enri, after taking down Zylice in incredibly dominant fashion, is moved on against another Canadian titan of the tournament scene. And whoever wins this match is going to be going up against the final player in this last chance bracket, MCY4, for a spot at a second seat at the round table. I'm Sad Shiva, and joined by me today is the wonderful Takani once again. What is up, dude? How's it going?
Not much, honestly. I'm just really excited to see this match. How are you?
Dude, I couldn't be more hyped. Honestly, this is truly an incredible matchup, and we've seen some great all-rounder players clash it out and see those really conflicting skill sets fight for their life of that point, and this match is like no other. Two incredibly strong hidden players and two very, very well-rounded players to boot. We do have a few distinguishing strengths. For example, Zooty a lot more prominent on that aim side, and Enri more on the tech side and a little bit more on the speed finger control side. But regardless, this is going to be an incredible match. Both top players in their respective countries and both the star players in their respective nations. I couldn't be more excited for this, to be honest.
Of course, and here we are in the map pool screen, about to start with Enri's first ban.
First ban is going to be coming through for Enri. So we've got some pretty decent ideas. We know how strong xootynator is on that aim in general. Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1, No Mod 1, DT 1, all of those picks extremely valid to go for. Also fair to maybe go for a position ban. We've seen Zooty dominate on those No Mod 7s, and Hard Rock 2 is not too bad of an option either. In fairness, it is a little bit more on the techie side, so Enri might be able to take advantage of that. But Zooty has had a very, very strong pocket pick in that No Mod 7. We saw her defeat Malashevsky in really, really dominant fashion on that map. And it's safe to say that No Mod 7 could be a valid option. But the first ban for Enri is going to be No Mod 1. Completely understandable, completely fair. We know how strong Zooty is on that No Mod 1. And Hidden 2 and Double Time 3 is what's banned for Zooty.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. You're getting the speed out of the way of Enri, which I think absolutely makes sense. And then the Hidden 2, Zooty just is not good on that map at all. I believe she 80k average, while Enri got 300k in the last match, so I think it's pretty easy to just get it out of there.
In all fairness, this Hidden 2 is absolutely disgusting. It's far more difficult than any other Hidden 2 that we've seen in this tournament, and if you saw the Zylice and Enri match earlier today, not even that long ago, like an hour ago, you could see how unbelievably difficult this was. Even with such prominent hidden players like Zylice and Enri, these guys struggled, and Zooty knows that this is a prominent strength for Enri against her, so she just wants to get rid of that instantly. And that final ban for Enri is that Hard Rock 1. Again, very understandable, very, 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 very fair ban. And we're going into our first pick here of Hard Rock 2.
Yeah, alright, so this is going to be kind of, actually a little bit techie. So you could split this map into two different parts. So there's the tech parts, and then there's the symmetry parts, and sometimes those two come together. So you kind of have to be a little bit of a master precision aim here. You have to feel comfortable on little weirder sliders on that slider aim portion, as well as just weirder aim patterns with the symmetry. Now, xootynator is going to find the first act drop right here and give Enri a little bit of an advantage at the start here as we go into the tech section.
This Hard Rock 2, extremely tech intensive, a lot of really frightening sliders that can lead to some really, really easy slider breaks. But so far, xootynator on the early lead. Enri breaking a few times there and giving Zooty that early combo advantage. And so far, we're already into the first quarter. This map is relatively short, about 2 minutes long, and xootynator sees the break, sees the advantage, and has a little bit of free combo to gain to extend that lead a little bit further. We're going to be building up to the next Kiai. We could see some massive chain misses here or some really valuable breaks. Enri's got a hold if he wants to continue pushing Zooty.
Yeah, there's the miss from Zooty. That's the big factor, but Enri has to hold now. He can't mess up. This part is, I would say, a little bit easier than the tech section, honestly. But we'll see. Enri's coming really close to missing some of these. I'm seeing a little bit of under-aiming, but he is holding through that entire Ki.
This is really well performed by Enri. You did say it was easier, but unfortunately he breaks just towards the end. A little bit of an easier section, unfortunately broken. That Ki, as you mentioned, a little bit more on the easier side compared to the sections coming up. But yeah, xootynator has got that advantage back in the combo in her favor as well. Accuracy also boosting the favor. And we're going into a lot tougher of a section where breaks could be a little bit more prominent. And there is about 80,000 score difference, but Zooty breaks once again. Enri's in the driver's seat now, but trades it. And that's definitely sealed it now. If Enri had any chance, it was when that break from Zooty came through, but it's not going to happen. Zooty takes Hard Rock 1 and map point number 1.
Yeah, a bit closer than I would expect for a xootynator Hard Rock 2, though. I am a bit surprised to see it was just a matter of 1 or 2 misses from Enri that made up that map. It could have very easily been an Enri point, but Zooty able to take it, able to get a point on the board, able to stop Enri from clean sweeping this entire last chance bracket.
There was a little bit of contention there. We saw quite a few trade breaks there and a lot of uneasy situations, especially for xootynator. But unfortunately, those back misses from Enri not long after xootynator loses that combo advantage just didn't give him any favors and didn't give him an opportunity to push that lead in his favor at all. There was almost no time for Enri to kind of push that lead because whenever the Zooty broke, Enri followed. So that is a very, very solid first pick for xootynator. Solid first map, first point on the board. And double time 2 is Enri's answer. And it's safe to say that this is a very, very solid pick for Enri. A lot more dominant in this skill set compared to xootynator. xootynator notoriously struggles on these really stamina and tapping intensive speed maps. And Gengar Ozo is one of the toughest examples of that.
Yeah, I really just don't see Zooty taking a point here. I think this is very easily an Enri pick. The speed, stamina, you know it, you love it, and Zooty is just going to struggle on it. These streams are really awkward as well. So if you weren't comfortable with speed already, now you have to worry about a really weird aim to it as well. And Zooty's going to struggle a lot on it. I think we've already seen her struggle on it against MCY4, in fact. And she's going to find the first break as well as Enri starts to take it away in the early map.
You're going to already see a very noticeable difference in comfort here. Zooty breaking multiple times and continuously breaking. Whereas Enri, despite that miss, looking extremely comfortable. The accuracy shows a lot of difference here in terms of the comfort. And as you mentioned, yeah, very surefire pick here for Enri. We are seeing both trades. However, the accuracy is what's very important to notice here. That's what's keeping Enri's score really, really far forward. Despite seeing multiple breaks from both players, this map is no joke. It's perfectly fine, honestly, to see both these players trading. The accuracy is what's going to really impact that final score. And this map's incredibly short as well. 1 minute 57 seconds long. Bordering on that 2-minute mark. We're already 2/3 of the way through, but that 100,000 score lead for Enri is palpable. Zooty's building up that small combo, which could close it up, but this could get really intense and really difficult. Enri with another break. This could be dangerous territory if xootynator holds, but she doesn't! She breaks, and that's definitely sealed it now. Enri takes this map for sure, even if he breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. A quarter of the map left, but I think it's just over. By the way, speaking of comfort, did you hear those double taps from Zooty?
Oh,
they were a little bit earlier in the map, but I definitely heard some odd tapping. If that really shows the comfort, is that Zooty's not tapping the map correctly, Enri is, and I think that more than anything illustrates the difference on this map here as Enri takes it away. His first point on the board. There will be no break point quite yet.
Fortunately not, we're seeing back and forth trades here. Really solid pick from Enri. Honestly, not surprised at all. Enri likes to consider a wording difference, but honestly, this guy did some pretty solid stuff in the early stages here. Zooty getting really close to evening him out in the max combo, but the accuracy is so palpable, so noticeable. Zooty even wins on the miscount factor. If you checked the scores there, Zooty actually got a lower miscount than Enri, but again, the 50 count, the 100 count, the struggle on stamina hits her hard, but that doesn't matter. No Mod 7 is Zooty's next pick.
Yeah, you talked about this being a bit of a back pocket pick for her, and she's bringing it out here at circle size 9. You want to talk about pure precision? Here it is. CS9, I would say these sliders are pretty hard as well. They are way faster than you would expect for circles this small. Definitely a xootynator map.
We've seen Zooty abuse this before against a player that couldn't be more dominant in this field of tournament scenes in Malashevsky, the first player in this tournament to achieve a spot on the round table. And xootynator wants to get that second spot and is bringing out a very, very unexpected strength at the time, really, back then, before we saw this incredible strength. And it really, in theory, objectively, this is a really good pick for Zooty. Zooty plays on full area with a very, very large tablet. So this is really, like, pretty average movements here. Despite this, the map is still extremely difficult, and we are seeing very noticeable struggle here from Enri, but Zooty still landing a couple breaks. This map has got some really, really frightening sliders that can really trip you up and lead to some very unfortunate slider breaks. But so far, not only in the combo department is Zooty just edging out just a little bit further, but accuracy, she is dominating on.
Yeah, it's a 7% accuracy difference, which just isn't even close. Enri consistently dropping slider and finding 100s everywhere. And it is just working to Zooty's favor here, and now has almost a 100k lead halfway through this map.
Enri's doing a really solid job, actually, continuing on with this combo and holding on, but we're getting another really tough section, but Enri hits it, and Zooty is the one to break. The Enri...
That could be big.
The Enri combo is huge, but unfortunately he breaks on such a close miss on that slider. And that's why the CS9 is so punishing, especially knowing how intense these sliders can be. This CS is honestly ridiculous, especially considering the amount of sliders you've got in this map and how, you know, for CS9, how high velocity they are. You know, you would really hope these sliders are slow if you're using CS this small, but unfortunately for Enri, despite having a small little glimmer of hope, loses that small gap that he had, and Zooty just pushes that lead further and further, and surely will take this map pick.
Yeah, a bit over, unfortunately. Those misses stacking up for Enri here, and Zooty getting herself a no-mud 7-point on the board.
Very impressed is Enri. An O-phase into a smiley. 400k for xootynator, pretty solid. Enri, unfortunately, Enri tried and almost won in the combo department, but unfortunately that one little slider that we saw earlier just hits him. And number 6 is going to be his next pick. So far, we've seen constant switches in their dominant skill sets. We haven't seen any major clashes yet. And number 6, probably not really much of an exception here. Very, very finger control intensive and has a lot of overlap reading.
Yeah, I don't imagine we're going to see clashes of skill sets until a little bit later in the match. I think right now both players kind of have it set out for them what they can do to just, like, stay away from the other player, get a safe point on the board. This absolutely follows that. Enri definitely going to be more comfortable in these AR8 streams and this really, like, awkward feel to the whole map. This is something he loves to play, and I feel like Zooty's going to struggle a lot on this.
That's what makes a match like this so exciting. The early stages are going to be both these players flexing out their differences, and then the late stages, when it starts getting close, they will clash with very, very even skill levels in respective maps. And that's when it's going to get extremely exciting. But so far, we're going into this normal 6, and it's extremely even right now. So be it. We are very, very early in, but we haven't got a definite advantage just yet. Small, tiny accuracy advantage for Enri. But we're going into these overlaps. So far, no break, but it could be at any point. These are some really, really brutal overlaps. Enri's the first to drop. Is Zooty going to continue to hold throughout this next section? There's quite a few really dodgy aim parts along with this reading. but she
Zudi's
continues
not
to hold on.
responding. Just holding on. You're seeing we're halfway through the map. Another miss from Enri.
Ooh.
That lead's gonna start going away now.
Zudi continues to hold throughout this halfway mark and sadly breaks. But the only a trade from Enri is going to give Zudi that very big early lead, so Enri's going to have to really hope he can hold on towards the late stages of this map. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really tough. Zudi breaking is going to be a little bit of a hand in that effort, but...
He might need another Zudi break, I don't know.
Does he have enough time? I think he does have enough time. It's closing in quite quickly, and Zudi breaks once again. Enri's got the chance. He's hitting these overlaps. It's going to flip eventually towards the end. 3/4 of the way through, and Zudi breaks once again, giving that score flip for Enri. He's holding on to that next ki, and that early break does not phase him. He pops off on that second overlap stream section. And as long as Enri holds to the remainder, it's going to be over for sure. It gets a little bit more spaced here, but I think it's definitely over. Enri may break, but in a fantastic comeback, he takes no more 6 and secures avoiding that break point and evens it out 2-2.
I thought for sure that was going to be a Zudi breakpoint after the first 2 Enri misses, but bringing it back, swinging around, Enri taking that point on his pick. 2-2 we are now.
Zudi did exceptionally well in that first half, not only hitting that really, really tough ki with incredibly intense overlapping streams, really, really, really intensive, and Enri breaking as well, but breaking at that halfway point, capping your score, even if you were to FC for the remainder, is really, really tough. But not only that, she choked massively in the late stage sections compared to the first half where she was hitting everything. The second half, she just couldn't hold on to a combo, and Enri pounced on that opportunity and came back with a fantastic second half performance. The Tsukinami is going to be what's picked next here for Zudi. Double time 1. We all know this map. This is the map we're talking about. The double time 1. Tsukinami by Reform, nostalgia difficulty. And fun fact, Zudi actually FC'd this in practice, which is a good insight into what you can expect here. A degree of comfort for Zudi, not only exceptional on this aim and general double time aim, but seeing this map in particular is a good sign of that comfort, a good sign of that practice difference. And Enri's got a lot coming for him. He's got to give Zudi a run for her money if he wants to get this point. Not surefire, definitely an opportunity to break. This map is extremely difficult with constant, really, really high BPM rapid jumps. AL 10.5 to boot, but that shouldn't be too difficult for these players. They've come far enough.
I'm wondering, you know, Zudi FC'd in practice, but she has yet to do it in match. And that's really the question, is that I think both of these players can put up really good scores on this. We saw Enri win this against Zylice last match, so it's not completely over, especially with those act drops from Zudi giving Enri an early lead. I would not say this pick is over before it started like it was with the DT2. I think both players do have a chance at winning here. Even if Zudi does have that practice FC, both players absolutely can put up a good score on this. No breaks yet.
First really tough second comes through. Both players hit it. It's only going to get harder and harder from here to Kane. We're getting up to the first ki here. And the big jump section comes through. Enri's going to break. Does Zudi hit the triangles? Yes, she does. And the combo advantage goes for Zudi. Another big jump section comes through. Can she hold on? Yes, she does.
All right. Enri needs Zudi to break right here. It'd be optimal, but she does not. It keeps going into the guitar. Here we go. Both players holding on nicely, but Zudi with that FC from earlier, she didn't break on the big jumps like Enri did, and it's going to give her that advantage. She's going to start taking the lead away.
For someone who's practiced this for so long, a single miss anywhere is so incredibly punishing. Another massive jump section comes through. Both players hit it, but unfortunately for Enri, Zudi's the one to hold. And still holds Enri, despite Enri still holds in that section, but that early break is not helping him. Xootynator still holding on to that FC, going to the halfway mark, hits those really tough triangle jumps, shakes a little bit on the bursts. But we're going into the next ki, more crazy jumps to come. Is he going to hit it? Yes, she does. We're getting really late into this map, Takani, and that lead is extending further and further. Can she hold to the next jumps? Yes, she does.
I don't know. There's still big jumps left to go, but Zooty with the finding another miss. It's over.
That's definitely over. 100% sealed now. It's now a matter of whether Zooty can shock the world and FC a map like Tsukinami, the map infamous for getting the first ever 1000 PP play. Is she gonna hit a score as crazy as that in tournament?
My heart is screaming. I want to see her do it.
The hottest section gonna come through now. Final jump section comes through. The longest section, the hardest section, in terms of the spacing. Zooty, unfortunately, breaks just towards the end. But regardless, a fantastic score from Zooty. 900,000 score. So incredibly close to getting that FC. And Zooty, with incredible dominance, gave enri zero room to breathe. And what a phenomenal score from xootynator.
Could you imagine when Vaxay set the first 1000 PP that this would happen in a tournament match a couple years later? Absolutely insane. That was not even fair, honestly.
Zooty herself is amazed at her performance, and honestly, I think the rest of the world is equally as shocked. Not to undermine Zooty, of course, but this map is insane. This map is crazy, Takani. One of the highest mechanics-heavy maps in the pool, and you can see why. Constant jumps, but Zooty just feels so damn good and played so damn well on those jumps, proving that practice div really came into favor. The double time 4 is going to be next for enri. The AR 10.7 double time, Takani.
All right, I just need a second to collect my thoughts after that one. All right. Now this map, I would argue that this is the hardest non-tiebreaker map in the pool. In fact, my only pool notes for this map is the hardest map ever conceived by man.
Give us your rundown, Takani. Why is this map so unfathomably difficult?
All right, so you take 144 BPM like alt tech. It's already hard, right? It's already something that you see in like a 4-digit tourney, and now you put double time on it. Now you increase the AR to 10.7, and you have them doing absolutely insane alt tech now on 216 BPM.
You heard it here, folks. This map is absolutely brutal and a really strong candidate for being the hardest map in this entire pool, aside from the tiebreaker. We're seeing multiple trades come through from both players here, but enri holds on to that small advantage. Xootynator just struggling to hold on to consistent combo. And enri, despite trading those breaks, seems a lot more comfortable, especially in the accuracy department. Dropping consistently, but still holding on to about 90, whereas Zooty struggling to hold on to 80. A noticeable gap in this score. And this map is also extremely short, literally TV size. 1 minute, 16
1 minute, 16 seconds.
Yeah, absurdly long. We're already going in, sorry. We're already going into the final PI here. And this lead is so powerful for enri. I think it's already won, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, enri just taking it away. Of course, this map, it's too short for xootynator to make a comeback. Also, that was a disgusting KI from enri, just holding through everything. Not something I would expect at all with the amount of flow in that this map requires, but showing off right now with a 260k score on this DT4. Very impressive stuff from enri, and we are now 3-3.
Zooty just unfortunately having literally zero time to gain some free combo. The map is 1 minute long, man. She has zero time. She's got to hold on to the hardest sections of this map, and unfortunately, it's just not her style, and enri takes advantage of that and even out 3-3. Next pick is going to be for xootynator, and I'm interested to see what she's going to go for next. Hidden 1 is open.
We will see. Hidden one feels like it makes sense, but I don't really know what she's thinking right now. She could also go something like Hidden 4 that she's really good on and trip Enri up if she like, but there's the Hidden 3. No, Enri actually did ban Hidden 3 against Zylice. Maybe not as comfortable on this map as he would hope.
Maybe witnessing that ban from Enri, noticing the discomfort. You know, on paper, you'd think Enri pretty strong on this, you know, kind of flowy hidden, but perhaps it's not. Perhaps it's a trip card.
Yeah, I was going to say, the flow aim he just displayed, I would not pick Hidden 3 against Enri, but also he has, you know, banned it in a previous match. Maybe not so comfortable on it. We'll see. This could just be a map diff, honestly.
This is where we can see Zooty take advantage of being the next player in the last chance bracket. Enri having to already prove himself against Zylice to make it this far, and Zooty's got some solid information, especially knowing that Enri was the one who knocked down her Canadian brother in Zylice. He wants that revenge for Canada. We're going into this Hidden 3. Probably the first map that you consider having some really solid contention for. And so far going into this first Ki, first intense flowing section, both players holding on to solid combo. However, accuracy is in Zooty's favor.
Yeah, I was going to mention Enri's not super comfortable in the act department right now, and his aim is worrying me a little bit. The way he's snapping, he looks very uncomfortable right now.
We're getting very close. We're nearly approaching the first Ki here. And a break comes through. Both these players know what's going on. It's very, very even. I don't see anything, Enri.
We don't talk about it.
I have no clue what you're talking about, Enri. Anyway, moving on to the first Ki here. You can already see the first semblance of this massive flow aim. Constant low BPM flow aim streams that can really trip up players, especially on the hidden. And you can already see the first trip. Enri going to chain miss on that section, and this is why this map is so terrifying. On paper, you may think this map is a little bit on the easier side, right? You may think that, but if you want to miss a singular circle, especially on hidden with this levels of flow aim, chain misses are so prominent and massive score losses can happen. And so far, Zooty just expressing that intense levels of comfort with not only perfect combo, but amazing accuracy. And I may have jinxed it a little bit. Sorry.
That is a perfect combo. You're so right.
My bad. Zooty may break and get a little chain miss, losing that 99. And so Enri in the driver's seat to hold on to this combo advantage. Well, manages if he can hold.
Huge.
It's not, no.
And that means that Zooty's lead is going to stay here for quite a while. Enri might have to FC the entire rest of this map to take the point.
I wouldn't take it too far away from him, to be honest. He's got the potential. He only chain missed on one peculiar section, so he's got the capability, but that hard Axel decel stream just completely ruined his combo. Tripped him up immensely. You hate to see it. Zooty may trade the break, but we're going into the final Ki, and really what matters here is, does Enri really have enough combo, nor enough time to really push his lead, even if he holds out the late section? I don't think he does. And he does chain miss. That's definitely still it now. If there was any hope for Enri to get this recovery here, he may have hit that pretty crazy cut stream section, but regardless, Zooty continues the pattern of back and forth pick wins, and will take this hidden 3 in solid fashion. It looked close for a moment, but that comfort from Zooty continues to pull through, especially in the first half where she gained some phenomenal combo. She's going to take it.
Yeah, that's just going to be another Zooty point on the board, but Enri getting a chance to pick back. By the way, we have had no break points yet, which is kind of crazy to think about, but as Zooty gets her 4th point on the board, now Enri's going to get a chance to strike back. I think it's finally time for Enri to break out the tech. I really want to see like a no mod 4 pick from him. I think he can easily win it against Zooty, and we really haven't seen the tech from Enri yet. So I would love to see that personally.
Yeah, a lot of enri's options are quite dangerous though. Like Zooty is so incredibly strong on Hard Rock, Hidden, Nomad, so incredibly flexible. Tech maybe on enri's side objectively, but the flex god that Zooty is a little bit frightening to go to any picks that aren't exclusively on your side. You've still got the Hard Rock 3 available, and you've also still got the Hard Rock 4.
Okay. Nomad 2. I actually just didn't think about that.
I didn't expect to see that.
I think, yeah, Nomad 2 is definitely Enri favored. We've seen Zooty struggle on this map a lot before. I think this is absolutely Enri's pick right here.
Yeah, I can totally agree on that. Honestly, I didn't think about it. I don't know why I didn't think about Nomad 2, but in all fairness, this is a really, really solid pick for Enri. Consistent 215 BPM streams, very stamina intensive, and very, very flow aim intensive too. A lot of really, really tight flow aim here. That's going to really trip up people if they don't aim this perfectly. And we've already seen Enri display some really phenomenal flow aim talent here. Despite struggling a little bit on that hidden 3, we saw a glimpse of potential in the previous maps, most notably in that double time 4. So there's plenty of potential to really excel on this. And without the hidden barrier hitting him a little bit, he's got all the reasons, all the qualifications to really pop off on this map.
Yeah, I am a little worried. So there's a lot of 1/2 snap aim patterns on this map. We'll see it right here. And honestly, if anything, those are what I'm worried for Enri on. I think it could be so easy for him to find a random break on one of those and give Zooty an in on his pick. But for the most part, it's just going to be the streams that Enri's so accustomed to that Zooty is going to have a lot of trouble on.
Yeah, you're actually very, very valid in mentioning that, because despite this map being mostly stream intensive, very, very stamina intensive, there are a lot, or not a lot, there are quite a few very dangerous jumps, but Zooty unfortunately breaks, and that gives Enri a beautiful chance to extend this lead. We're going to the next Ki, and the comfort in accuracy is really, really strong. Unfortunate miss from Zooty, and multiple act drops continue to decrease her chances of really taking this. Another break here. It's a massive chain to boot. Enri looks brilliant and seems to have hit the first Ki, and a break comes through to boot. So Enri's aware. He knows his situation, and all he's got to do is hold for a little bit, honestly, and I think he's got this.
Yeah, even if he does break, Zooty's so likely to break again that it doesn't even matter. I think this is just Enri's win right out the gate here. By the way, can we talk about how good this song is?
This song is an absolute mega banger, but can we just mention how both those players hit those really crazy jumps? Who put No Mod 1 in my No Mod 2? Who did that? Any mappers who did this? Who did this?
I believe this was Zexar. Now, Enri is unfortunately going to find a miss, but it's... Wait, what?
On the jumps! What was that, Enri?
Enri, no, I'm not talking. He did it. He just won.
I mean, regardless of Zooty holding on, Enri's definitely got this, but what was that? Did you see that?
That was
so weird. What the heck?
Yeah, okay. I get cursor dancing in solo, right? I've never seen that happen in match where someone cursor dances and gets away with it. He hit every jump right there, right as I was talking about how he broke right before it. He just styled. He's taking it away now. Zooty can't even reach 200k at this point. And we're taking it away to 600k with those jumps, by the way. That was absurd.
I mean, not only that, but those are literally some of the hardest jumps in the map. Probably the hardest jumps.
I was like, oh, Enri's gonna break on those. Oh, I'm really worried for Enri. No, my bad. I'm sorry.
he may have missed on the final circle of the map, but it does not matter. Enri, in incredibly stylish and dominant fashion, evens it out 4-4 again. This is getting incredibly tense now. Look at how close this is to Kane. 4-4.
Each player has one pick left to prove themselves.
You have to expect the hidden one here for Zooty. You have to.
Surely, right? What else does she do?
Hard
Really?
Rock
Hard Rock 4.
She's going for the Hard Rock 4. She's leaving the hidden one open.
You know what?
Now,
this is hidden 3. Hard Rock 4 is just hidden 3 again. That actually makes sense.
that is true. Hard Rock 4 is very flow aim intensive. Very, very flowy. We've seen Enri do really well, but this is a lot more in the spacey department, a lot more kind of comfort sided on the Hard Rock side for xootynator. But I'm surprised to not see that hidden one go through. It's very, very kind of signature. You know, it's kind of Zooty's signature move to go for that hidden one and kind of dominate. But maybe she wants to go for more of Enri's weaknesses rather than her comfortable strength. This is going to be the map that secures her match point. And in fairness, Hard Rock 4 is not a bad choice at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a repeat of the hidden 3. I feel it's very flow aim intensive. It's the same thing, right? Where it's basically just a loved alt map, where it's this constant space streams and huge flow aim. It's so easy to chain this on. Now it's not gonna be like with hidden on, where you really just don't know where you're going next. But I think this is going to be very similar in that sense with the flow aim challenge. And I'm a little worried for Enri on this pick here.
There's always potential for a crazy miss here. This isn't as one-sided of a pick compared to previous options, but still possible here. Zooty wants to push on this flow aim, and you can already see how spaced this is. But definitely more on the comfort side for Zooty. I can see Enri already breaking in the early sections here, the intro. And Zooty hits all of that in beautiful fashion with near perfect accuracy to boot. And a little bit of an easier section here. Gives you a little bit of free combo before the next hard section.
Yeah, Enri's aim is not looking too good. He's definitely not comfortable with this, especially on the AR-10, OD-10. Struggling a little bit as Zooty's recovered her act. There's a miss from Zooty, though!
Huge miss on Zooty and those really rapid snap jumps. And Enri has the combo advantage. Another break from xootynator is going to even out the score massively. Enri just suddenly popping off. A little bit of nervous and uncomfort, as you can see from his cursor, but he's continuing to hold, strong enough to the point where he's going to flip his score into his favor. And then it's a huge break from xootynator. Really, really unfortunate, tough situation. Swallow. Enri may break and Zooty may trade it. I was about to say may reflip the score, but now it is dead even a third of the way through.
I don't even know what to say. They basically restarted the map a third of the way through.
This is a complete reset.
It matters a lot who breaks next.
Oh, really breaks again. Honestly, this is why you would struggle on full area, to be honest with you. These snap jumps are so fast and really precise when you're adding in hard rock. And that might
Enri did find a break in the key.
Oh, that's true, actually. I didn't notice that. We're going into another really tough section here, a lot more spacing. And Zooty with that tiny combo advantage has the chance to flip this, but
he's Enri to break and he's not going to.
Enri refuses to drop. Zooty may have an advantage, but this is incredibly tense. The final third of the map, a little slow section, is going to give these guys a little bit of extra combo, but the longer this lasts, the closer the score lead's going to be. Act drops are going to matter too. Accuracy is very, very close, a tiny bit in Enri's favor, but honestly, it could change at any point. What matters here is the combo, and the break is shown. This couldn't get any more intense, guys.
Oh no. Enri's a little worried, and can you blame him? Look at how close it is right now. It's going to be a little bit of a build-up before the last Ki. This last Ki is going to determine everything.
This could be absolutely massive if we see a break from xootynator. If we see another one of those snap jumps, this could be a big factor.
Absolutely.
But this is it. This is one of the most important parts of this match. This could be fate for either of these players. This could decide. This could be a massive deciding factor on who will go to the LAN. Or who gets the biggest chance. And here we go.
This could be the tiebreaker or not.
Here we go. Red. Oh, such an unfortunate break. Just on the very end of that space part. Immediately flips the score for Zooty. And from what looked like an incredibly frightening and dire situation, unfortunately, we didn't see any more long upstanding combos. Zooty may chain miss a little bit, but as long as she continues to hold towards this section, I don't think enri has got enough time, despite holding that combo advantage. Just hold on a second, though. enri could hold this late section. Zooty could break again, but it's not enough. It's incredibly close, though. About 15,000 score. No spin to win comes through. 13,000 score difference, and it looked unbelievably close.
No mod 4, no mod 5, Hard Rock 3. I think those are enri's options to take this win. Otherwise, it's over. I think he has to pick one of those maps.
What an epic map, man. That could have been really dangerous for Zooty. But thankfully for Zooty, enri managed to put the break through towards the early stages of that final KI. And the final pick is in enri's court. As you mentioned, he's got his options. Which one is he going to go for? This could be the most important decision of his run in this tournament. What is it going to be?
You can see he's thinking about it. Not making a hasty decision. I like that. I like the caution from enri. He's come in with a strategy. I've talked a lot to enri about this weekend. And honestly, he's one of the most strategically prepared players I think I've ever seen for a tournament. So he's really thinking about it. He's trying to see what can take me to a tiebreaker against xootynator. And it's going to be Hard Rock 3. Flow aim, rhythm control. It's got speed elements to it. I think, yeah, this is the right choice.
This is far and away one of the hardest maps in the pool. Extremely finger control intensive. As you mentioned, got a little bit of that speed element to boot. Pretty rhythmy, pretty flow aimy. But the finger control is what's going to really matter here. And enri's decided to go for it. He wants this. And this is his last chance to even it out and secure tiebreaker.
Oh, this is so scary. I don't even have any words anymore. I just want to see it, you know? I just want to see this match go to a tiebreaker. It would be beautiful.
It would be truly gorgeous.
It really depends on this map. We've got 2 minutes to determine if we're going to a tiebreaker. enri, this is his last chance.
Do or die. And even then, even if he takes this, he's got one more map to face Zooty on. But here we go, Sapphire on fire. As for mentioned before, one of the hardest maps in the pool. Extremely tapping intensive, really rhythmically heavy, and super Axel Diesel on those rhythms. You can already see an early break from Zooty is going to give enri that advantage. This map is only 2 minutes long, and multiple breaks from Zooty is going to give enri a massive early advantage. It's slowly gaining, but enri sadly shakes. He had the advantage coming for him, but those shakes in that really speedy section sadly hits him, and now it's dead even. Zooty has a little bit of combo advantage to slowly pull in that lead in her favor, but it's far from over. We're getting close to that halfway mark, and both players have recovered really swiftly, but if Zooty continues to hold, especially considering there's a little bit of a free combo section here, but not for too long, this could be really dangerous. We're seeing multiple lag drops. enri's gonna break! Zooty
to break right now.
Zooty's gotta break. She's gotta break so incredibly soon! And there it goes! Is there enough time though? No, enri's trading it. The reset's fallen through. enri doesn't have any combo. And Zooty's taking this away. That massive combo in the mid stages of that map, giving her a massive advantage and a huge 40,000 score lead. There's hardly enough time. Both these players are recovering swiftly. Zooty may break, but enri trades it. That has been secured. There is no time for Enri to recover. Unfortunately, the pick was not the right call, and it ends up becoming Enri's fate. And with that, in an incredibly close match and a beautiful match to boot, welcome to Osu, welcome to the round table. xootynator is going to the final match of the LCB against MCY4.
So close, Enri almost pulling it to a tiebreaker. Unfortunately, his run ends here, and xootynator moves on to face MCY4.
What a match, Takane. These guys really displayed how brilliant they are on so many different maps. So many incredible clutches. But at the end of the day, the only break point is the point to win it all. And Zooty is going to the final LCB match to face MCY4 to decide who will take the second and only last seat at the round table LAN. I honestly could not be more hyped for the next match that's going to come through. What a game, Takane. Honestly, we saw some amazing performances, amazing clutches, and just some great plays overall.
I'm still in shock. I can't. I feel like I can't even articulate how good that match was. Zooty and Enri both put up such a good fight. It was just so good. I really wish that Enri won the Hard Rock 3. I really wanted to see tiebreaker, honestly. Unfortunately, not what happened, but what a good match nonetheless, and I can't wait to see Zooty versus MCY4.
The most notable scores in that match, so many, but we cannot talk about the amazing result of this match without Zooty's unfathomable performance on that double time 1. And on top of that, Enri's just all along the board phenomenal performances, especially on that double time 4. Really contrasting the difference here.
I hear Palace of Melancholia.
Are we seeing a tiebreaker showcase?
I think we're seeing a tiebreaker showcase.
I believe we are seeing a tiebreaker showcase because both these players had a huge desire to pick this. But is this a double-edged sword? We may see a banger map, but any other map that Zooty plays is more information for MCY4.
This is a tiebreaker. At the end of the day,
MCY4
MCY4 can't pick a tiebreaker.
For sure. Yeah, I can see that for sure. There's any knowledge, there's any power, Takane. But regardless, we are going to be seeing Palace of Melancholia for Showcase. No stakes, no crazy intensity, just a banger map, a banger song, and a whole lot of fun. Zooty has won the match and will be advancing. But why not? Why don't we see a fun final map for Enri to see him off? What an incredible run by this player. Doing some phenomenal performances and scorelines against some incredible players throughout this tournament.
Now watch Enri win this. Wouldn't that be funny?
True. That would be quite funny. But keep in mind that nerves are gone now. It's more for the showcase, and nerves can play a massive factor. And Enri may have broken on that space stream and once again on the slider. But that may just be early match jitters. He's probably going to regain it. But both these players are running the hidden, both very heavy preference mods. These guys love their hidden and are both incredibly well known for their fantastic hidden prowess on nearly everything. Very much a comfort mod for both these guys. But Zooty continues to hold with really, really solid accuracy going into this first PI. You can already see some really funky streams and some really scary sliders, but both these players are holding on to the PI that early break from Enri hasn't faced him at all.
Yeah, I mean, in the actual Corsace Open tournament, Zooty's team was the team that was like the tiebreaker favorite team, right? So it doesn't surprise me to see her playing really well on this. I think this is absolutely the kind of map that Zooty excels at. When it comes down to the wire, obviously, you know, this isn't a real match scenario. They're just playing it for fun. But I think, honestly, Zooty would probably win this in match.
It's honestly a shame that we'll never get to see it, because this would be such an exciting tiebreaker to see, to witness.
You know, there's so much OC left to play. I think these two will eventually go to a map like this, and it'll be insanely exciting. With what we've seen today, this is one of Enri's first appearances in like such a large-scale 1v1 tournament. I think there's a lot left to see from Enri versus xootynator, this specific matchup, especially with what we've seen today. I think, you know, we could see something like this in the future in a real match scenario, which is really sick.
It's great, honestly. These guys have such a great friendship and great kind of rivalry together. And although Canada may have avenged a brother, Enri's gonna come back stronger in future tournaments to come.
Absolutely.
More than likely this year. We've got plenty of phenomenal 1v1 tournaments coming into later stages this year. And it's safe to say that these two players are not going anywhere. And I couldn't be more excited for that. These guys have done so well in the tournament scene in general and have proved themselves to be true titans in the tournament scene.
100%. You know, I love these TV showcases. I love just sitting here chilling and talking, not going crazy over a match. By the way, look at Zooty's combo right now.
Yeah, this is a really, really good combo from Zooty, actually. Continuing to hold on throughout this next TI, you can see those really, really tough bursts and slider sections, tripping up both these guys, but Zooty with a pretty noticeable lead here. You know, it may seem pretty small by most map standards, but considering this is tiebreaker, you know, 40k, 30k is really quite a decent score lead. Nothing massive, nothing to secure a victory by any means, but a pretty solid lead. And you know, if Enri was in a tough situation where he had to win, he would really need to try and hold here because it'd be a tough situation. But you know, this is for fun, so really it doesn't really matter. Forget the what ifs. We're just here to enjoy a brilliant tiebreaker. This was originally going to be used for Course Ace, and I believe it was actually. I don't know why I said it was going to be.
Yeah,
it was used for Course Ace.
Course Ace Open 2021 Grand Finals tiebreaker.
Yeah, so this is a really, really good tiebreaker. Very, very famous as well, if you followed that Course Ace Open 2021 tournament.
Yeah, unfortunately, this wasn't played in Course Ace either. It was played on a showcase within the tournament, but was not actually played within the tournament itself, I do not believe. At least in the main Grand Finals. I'm not sure about loser's side.
I swear I remember this being played. Am I incorrect? I swear I remember seeing this being played in Course Ace Open.
I mean, it was showcased.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that might have just been a misconfusion, because I definitely remember seeing this being played in the VOD. It might have not been a type in the actual scoreline, but yeah. We're going into the hardest part of the map here, and we're seeing multiple breaks here from both players. Zooty just continues to hold on to that lead. No combos are being held, and honestly, this section is so unbelievably brutal. Some massive cross-screen jumps, some really punishing sliders with high velocities. You've got to not only have some really good composure, but some really good aim control. We've seen both these players become a decent lead. Enri's going to break, but xootynator is going to be winning this.
Yeah, 30k is too late to make up now.
Honestly, this isn't a good way to substitute who would have won, because there are so many more factors going into a actual tournament match rather than a showcase. You know, these guys are not at their best. They're not at their kind of most nervous mindsets, and I am happy with now. I'm happy with how I play.
He's happy with how he played. Love to see that. Also, we just lost 50k doing that.
But honestly, give a round of applause for Enri, because he may have gotten top 4 in this tournament, but really, really made a name for himself. And despite being an already very iconic tournament player in the scene, really shown his phenomenal performances in the solo scene. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Enri. Really, really well played, and really, really close match against xootynator. It's a shame we couldn't see the tiebreaker with such circumstances, but regardless, Zooty moves on, and we're going to be seeing a historic matchup coming up next. What do you think, Takane?
I honestly don't even know. It really could go either way. Now, MCY4 did win against Zooty last time they played, but it could very easily be Zooty favor. Though we have seen her stamina's probably gonna struggle a little bit in this next match, given that she's just coming off this very, very long Enri match. So I'm a little worried for Zooty, but I think she can still take it.
Yeah, that's definitely a very, very valid factor, to be fair. MCY4 not only gets a lot of time to warm up and practice, but also gets plenty of knowledge throughout this match. He knows now what Zooty's notable strengths are, especially in maps that we didn't expect in the past. And so MCY4 has got plenty of information to take advantage for. And not only that, but Zooty's got a huge ladder to climb. MCY4 in a brilliant spot here, but on top of that, Zooty's got the stamina. Zooty's got the post-match jitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zooty's at a significant disadvantage on paper, but honestly, I know we've seen Zooty do phenomenal things in the past. I'm still extremely excited to see this matchup.
Yeah, but that's gonna be it for this. Now, we're gonna take, I believe, a short break for about 5 minutes, and then we'll return for the final match of this last chance bracket: xootynator versus MCY4. Thank you, Shiba, for casting this match with me, and we will see you back in just a second.
Take care, dudes. We'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere.